In a quiet corner of a bustling town, there stood a cozy little bakery that always smelled of fresh bread and warm sugar. The owner, a kind-hearted woman named Nora, wasn't the only one who worked there. Every morning, as the golden light of dawn crept through the windows, a small gray cat named Miso padded softly across the counter, greeting the day with a gentle purr. Miso had lived at the bakery ever since Nora found him shivering under a bench one rainy night. She wrapped him in her scarf, brought him home, and gave him a warm bed beside the oven. From that day on, Miso became the bakery's quiet guardian and, in his own way, its little hero. Every morning, as Nora kneaded the dough, Miso would sit by the window, his green eyes carefully watching the street outside. He had a special interest in people, especially the children who pressed their noses against the glass to watch the pastries rise. When one of them smiled, Miso would tap the window with his paw, as if to say hello. Soon the townspeople began calling the place the Cat's Bakery. Some came just for the bread, but most came to see Miso. He'd walk gracefully along the counter as Nora served customers, his tail brushing past cups of cocoa and croissants. Even the grumpiest customers left with a smile after Miso blinked at them in that slow, affectionate way cats do. But Miso's favorite time was the quiet afternoon lull, when the rush faded and the sun painted the floor in golden stripes. Nora would brew herself a cup of tea and place a tiny saucer of milk beside her chair. Miso would curl up there, his fur glinting in the sunlight, the soft hum of the bakery wrapping him in peace. Outside, the world kept moving, people rushing, cars honking, clouds drifting by. But inside, the bakery was a small universe of calm, a place where one woman and her cat shared simple, wordless companionship. One chilly morning, as the first snowflakes of winter danced down from the sky, Nora opened the bakery doors to find a surprise waiting on the doorstep, a tiny cardboard box wrapped in a red scarf. Inside it, two wide-eyed kittens peeked out, trembling but curious. Someone had left them there, abandoned but hopeful. Nora's heart melted instantly. She carried the box inside and set it down near the fire. Miso jumped from the counter and padded over, his nose twitching as he examined the newcomers. The kittens huddled close together, unsure of this new world, but Miso simply sat beside them and began to purr, a deep, steady sound that filled the room with warmth. Over the next few days, the kittens began to explore their new home. One was black with a white patch on her chest. Nora named her Luna. The other, a ginger ball of fluff with bright amber eyes, became known as Pip. They followed Miso everywhere, stumbling over their tiny paws, copying his every move as if he were their teacher. Customers were delighted to see the new additions. Children giggled as the kittens chased ribbons across the bakery floor. Even Miso, who had once enjoyed his quiet days alone, didn't seem to mind the playful chaos. He often watched from his favorite window perch, tail flicking gently as Luna and Pip tumbled across the sunlit tiles. Sometimes, when Nora stayed up late baking for the next morning, she would glance around the warm, fragrant bakery and smile. The kittens were asleep in a basket near the oven, Miso curled protectively beside them. The soft sound of their purring mixed with the crackle of the fire and the hum of the night beyond the window. And though Nora couldn't have said why, she felt that the little family of cats had brought something truly special into her life, a quiet magic that made the bakery feel more alive than ever.